I'm the H and HI royalty. I'm mom, and Evie, my daughter, is the I in high royalty. It's so perfect. High royalty. This is our YouTube channel. Do subscribe, like, comment, tap the bell when you subscribe. I'm celebrating my daughter today. I'm celebrating her birthday. The mommy and baby umbilical cord bond is strong. The color of it is indigo. It's very colorful. It's very bright. It is life. We represent life. I have the privilege of being able to identify as a mother to a very beautiful young girl, a daughter. And mothers and daughters are very special. The relationship between a mother and daughter is incredibly special. So that's the message today. Happy birthday to Yevi Nunia. Yevi Nunia, my daughter, my lovely, beautiful daughter, my princess, my beautiful diamond-eyed baby. You're all kind of beautiful. Love to my Yevi in all ways possible. Protecting her, the light to guide her, to protect her, to keep her life living as happily as she can possibly ever be. Definitely praying that my Yevi's life is happy. Always reminding you to value yourself, to maintain your health, your well-being overall, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, to make sure that she's as healthy as she can ever be. She was born a healthy baby, and that is a day to celebrate. It's so necessary to celebrate good health. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, soulfully, to celebrate that always, to be thankful, to thank one another in all of our love in every way that we appreciate one another. I have been able to celebrate all these years with my daughter. I've always been worried about her allergies, about her mental health, her emotional well-being. That was always something that I always discussed as a concern of mine in the courts. My daughter's home is with me, her place is with me. This is the safest place, just me and my daughter. We always had one another. We always had our relationship and our connection. We always celebrated one another. When we were in the most challenging circumstances, we always hugged one another, remind one another that we love one another, we appreciate one another. We've accomplished a lot since then, and we can never throw away our progress. To be so resilient, so strong, so beautiful, and stay connected with one another, because this counts. And I am worthy of my daughter's love. She's worthy of my love. We deserve to have one another in this life. Because there are times where I was questioning myself. Maybe I'm not a good person. Maybe I don't deserve to have any kids at all. So I think that's something like gaslighting, and I'm sure of myself. I'm sure of the woman that I am, the mom that I am. I don't deserve to be hurt like this. This is not God's plan. It's not God's plan to see me crying and heartbroken and miserable this way, depressed about not being with my daughter. God wants to see us connected and united. The enemy has to understand that and respect that. God wants to see us united. God wants us to be united and connected as a family, and as mother and daughter. God understands the relationship and the value of our relationship. God appreciates that. God put us here in this moment right now, so let's never throw this away. Let's never throw away this opportunity that we have to connect with one another. And in all ways, maintaining yourself, as selfish as it sounds, as selfish as anybody might carelessly say that that's so selfish, etc. Being selfish sometimes is something that we have to, as givers, because we do have the heart of Jesus, question the guy that gives the shirt off his back, because that's not actually a good sign. There's a quote somewhere that says to question the person that takes the shirt off their back to give to you. That's not exactly someone to trust and open up to. Being selfish is actually a great thing to highlight, and I know kind of the way that people try to shame us for being selfish, but like I said, we have to remind ourselves to be selfish, to give to ourselves sometimes, give ourselves a hug, remind ourselves that we're deserving of happiness and love. It's not always about giving. And I've heard a lot of women and girls saying that that's just naturally in us as mothers, as nurturers, to just give, make sure everybody else is good. Yes, we do have responsibilities, and we have a number of tasks, but I don't believe in being depreciated and unappreciated. All of those things, those things are things that we're dealing with, but that's really not equal to the significance and the truth that I see and the truth that I'm speaking up and out about. I will discuss the mental health problems, and just the way that I'm being portrayed is not okay, and I have to find multiple outlets, people to talk to, and just a way to just really get accountability on my part as a mother to say that I am exactly as I say that I am, and there isn't any false narrative that could ever challenge me in my position as a mother. I'm a great mother. My daughter doesn't always give me credit for that. Her ability to appreciate and love me as much as she really does and naturally does that I can see. Painting pictures, drawing pictures, reminding me that she loves me, telling me thank you when I do things that I'm supposed to do as a mother. And I'm completing all of my responsibilities and obligations. I don't look for thank you, I don't look for praise. That's never been me. My daughter has always been able to appreciate me in all of those things. She does want her connection with me as her mother. She needs that, and she has that with me, and she always will. I sent her an email today, and I will include that now in this YouTube video, highlighting this message that I sent to her. This is the message of all birthdays. The reminder to be happy, to choose to be happy and choose to live your life. I remind myself all the time to choose to be happy. Actively making that choice, not wishfully, hopefully saying these things like, I hope I have a good day today. I'm gonna make sure of this because this is my choice. It's like mandatory happiness. And so we just don't let anything in the way of that. When we choose to be happy, if there's anything that gives us the bad vibes or the wrong feeling, our intuition speaks to us, our instinct speaks to us, and if something doesn't feel right or just we think something's not right, we're gonna be able to identify. The alarms will sound and we'll be able to say that's not in alignment with my happiness, and so I'm going to excuse that or excuse myself in the situation because I am choosing to be happy. And with me, my happiness is with myself, is in my position as a mother, and is with my daughter. So in the email, obviously I said to give yourself the bigger piece. My daughter's she's kind of showing a little bit of selfishness. She's not really considering like me, my feelings, how I feel on this day. It does make me feel some way that she's not phoned me to talk to me, to connect with me, and I'm not a horrible person, and that's the reason that a lot of the situation doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me that my daughter is acting as if I'm some stranger from the street, from nowhere. I'm not perfect. I've never been perfect. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't seem like her. That hurt my feelings, and this situation, it is hurtful, but I made a promise to myself not to be overly emotional about it, or at least try not to. It is necessary for me to be strong as a mother. Notice my voice changes, my voice gets deeper, I'm suppressing emotion, and then I start to look angry, and it just gets really complicated. I have my own routine of how I care about myself, how I regulate my emotion, and how I just keep myself healthy so that I'm not just suppressing. I'm keeping my internal system functioning properly, etc. I do feel a little bit of hurt with this whole situation, and on the subject or the topic of selfishness, it is necessary to give yourself the bigger piece. I do highlight that everything that you do in life, you have to give yourself credit, you have to give yourself thanks, you have to give yourself appreciation and recognize those incredible qualities about yourself that just gives you the value that you have to have about yourself in your worth in this life, because we are dealing with the world, and in the real world this counts, this matters, and you have to be able to protect yourself. When you're conversating with folks, you have to recognize your position in those communications and in those conversations. This is to make sure that you do have a great life, that you can be as happy, and that you choose to be as happy as you can possibly be. I want to answer the question of, well, why aren't you with her on her birthday, or why isn't she talking to you? And that's just a series. That's literally a series of this and that, the other thing, etc. I think anybody with eyes can see that our relationship is beautiful. I'm a loving and devoted mother to my daughter, and I speak up and out against the stigma of single moms. I love my daughter, and she loves me, and that's all that matters. It's bringing me closer to God, and it's bringing me to the truth, to value us, value one another, appreciate one another, and to, at every opportunity, hug one another, pull each other close, and to understand that we're all we have in this world, and we're all we'll ever need. There isn't anything more valuable than us in this life. And our relationship is so significant, so special. And not to let anybody take that away ever. I really don't understand what it is that she's experiencing, but I'm trying to understand, and I'm trying to keep our communication with one another, our connection with one another, so that we can communicate. I am highlighting the message that you're not a victim, my daughter's not a victim, I'm not a victim. We do have to, in all ways, keep reminders. This way we're mentally as strong as we are physically, spiritually, especially emotionally. I've just made a lot of changes about the way that I'm moving, the way that I live, and I expect my daughter to be with me, absolutely. Clarity to Yvi, clarity to above confusion always, to always be clear about yourself, your truth, your beliefs. In highlighting your truth, you'll always be sure about yourself. You'll never wonder, you'll never be confused. You just have to highlight and remind yourself of the facts according to your own lived experience. This isn't something that I'm trying to convince. There's no convincing here. There's no sales pitch. This is something you experienced and I experienced. We witnessed, we endured. So we're traumatized. There's so many layers of trauma. It's just so complicated, hence confusion. And I notice confusion in a lot of people, whether they've experienced trauma or not. Confusion is just in the air. And so we have to have our truth. We have to have our clarity, etc. I will always be the voice of truth. And I will always be the clarity to my daughter, always. I can save her from a lot of the experiences that I endured. She doesn't need to experience any of the heartache, the pain, and etc. She's already endured a lot at her very young age. She should have never endured any of the things that she endured, but unfortunately that's what occurred to us, and that's what we're dealing with, and that's fine. We do have a future. Our connection and our communication has been so interfered with that it's just been so challenging to reach her, to really connect. I have a very serious responsibility and obligation to my daughter. This is my family. This is my life. So I don't appreciate anybody in the way of that and looking at me as if I'm nobody, talking to me as if I'm nobody, as if I don't have any right. Like, imagine that feeling. Imagination is something that's supposed to carry us into our dreamland, right? The trauma that we've endured has just been a nightmare. She's endured a lot of trauma at such a young age. You have a mother that loves you no matter what anybody else says, and even no matter what you do. There's a lot of understanding that I have with my daughter, and I'll discuss more of the reason that I myself went months without. I didn't even make any effort to talk to her. It was very hurtful what she did, and I want her to just awaken, to be enlightened, like to really think about her actions and to see if she wants to make any changes. And I'm expecting her to speak up and out, not to tell me what I want to hear, but to really communicate her truth, the truth that I see, the truth that I have, the truth that I understand her to have. My daughter's very much like me. She's looking more like me, and obviously I'm loving that. I'm loving the fact that my daughter's looking more like me, and I am expecting her to be more than I ever could be, and that's the expectation with the future. That the future is more than the present time, and definitely more than the past. So it's really hurtful that she's not choosing to do that just yet. And I think in the essence of time, I just really want her to just snap out of the delusion that I think that she's experienced, the confusion that I think that she's experiencing. And it's not her fault, and I don't blame her, but there were many months that I didn't talk to her. It just seemed so out of the norm with her and her behavior, and I'm her mother, and I have more knowledge of her than those people could ever tell her, because people love to tell us who we are, and don't let anybody do that. Don't let anybody tell you who you are, what you are. Because that's the world that we're living in right now. People trying to tell us that we're this and that and everything else. They can't tell us our truth. So Uma is a word that means kiss. I always said that to my daughter. I've always told her umas, and it's just cuter. To me, it sounds cuter than kiss. Kiss just sounds like intimate and kind of uncomfortable to me. So Uma just sounds so cute and so perfect. Uma, as we say Uma, I want to hug her and just remind her of herself always. Celebrating her life, Yivi Nunia. Yivi has two meanings, strength and energy. Anyways, she has a great amount of both naturally. Strength and energy, it just exudes from us. It's natural within us to have that strength and energy, and there's so much that just is the challenge is that. And if you continue to remind yourself, and I'll always remind you, with every breath that I have in this life and on this earth, I will always speak life to you and celebrate your life and uplift you. Celebrate your life, live your life, be happy, always choose that. And your life is so significant, so special. You're so special. Happy birthday, my beautiful baby, my daughter. Life on this planet and in this on earth with you is so much more and so much brighter and colorful and greater and happier. Having you, being your mother, it's so meaningful to me. And I think when a girl becomes a woman and becomes a mom, there's so much that happens with all of those transitions, and I always want to be involved with my daughter to be able to guide her in all of her experiences. She's my baby, and she's my one and only child, and I don't want to get emotional with this at all, and I made a promise to myself that I will not get emotional with this. To be able to support her, to guide her, to guarantee that she has the best life, and all of those type of things that could ever hinder her from her destiny and her purpose. I am mother, and I want to be in the way of all of those things. All of those things that could ever be in the way of her living her life. I also want to celebrate her life with her. I want to be a part of her life. So I am a part of her life as her mom. So happy birthday to Evie. I'll say it and say it again. Happy birthday to Evie Nunia. Evie Diamond Eyes Nunia, my beautiful baby. My precious, lovely baby. You're so pretty and all kinds of beautifuls and the cutest cutes of all cuteness. And that's not what makes you beautiful. What makes you beautiful is the human being that you are. The beautiful and loveliness that you are, that you continue to be, despite all of the challenges that you've endured, and just being that, just your strength and your resilience is so beautiful. It's also something to recognize about yourself, to give yourself credit for on the times that you don't feel as beautiful and lovely as I remind you that you are. If you're ever not sure about yourself, always remind yourself that your strengths and everything that you've been able to push past and to push through. And I'm just excited to be alive and to be with you, to witness, to be involved in you just achieving your potential and living your life is, I believe, what any good mother or father would always love to have the ability to do. And I consider us fortunate in that fact, just to continue to live in our future onward, like future onwards. You have to protect yourself to keep yourself safe, and I'm always reminding you that you have me always to guide you and to protect you, to love you, to provide to you, to always support you whenever you need support. Your success is my success, so that's absolutely what I want to see with you living your life. And despite all of the challenges and everything that's beneath us and underneath our feet, all of those things of the past, and just giving you love and showing you love always, and showing you what that means, what that looks like, what that feels like, and to always set that expectation of what to expect with yourself and your life in love. And we have to protect ourselves. A lot of people try to take advantage of us. That's just something to know. Happy birthday to you, my love. I love you so much, my beautiful heart. Happy birthday to you and happy long life to you always.